So this video is a long time coming. It's kind of my wrap up about Xena Con that happened all the way back in November. I had all the intention of doing this video way sooner, like all the way when I got back, but it is what it is, right? Yeah, so we're gonna talk about the con and also the next con, because Xena Con is happening in January of next year, and we just kind of got the final like go ahead that it was actually happening, because they said it was going to happen all and at the convention, but it's been months and months and months and there's been no confirmation. So just probably like last month, 2 months ago, they put up that it's actually going to happen. So the next one is happening in January of next year. Unfortunately, that is also right after the holidays, so even though I really want to go, I don't think that it's gonna happen. And excuse any noise, I'm gonna try and close the window to see if that blocks out anything, but my building and the surrounding area is getting construction and will be under construction for the foreseeable future. They're gonna start out on the outside and come on the inside, so lots of construction noises. So sorry about that. Let me close the window. Helps a little bit, not a lot. So anyway, I just wanted to come on here and just talk about the con and kind of give the pros and cons of it, the pros and cons of the con, and maybe help you decide if you wanna go. Okay, so let's start out with the cons, just because there's a lot of them, right? So the convention was extremely small. It was like about four main rooms that I saw. There was the convention like stage area that was like right here. There was the vendors room, which was literally the lobby, or like the alcove right before you get into the convention center. Then there was the photograph area, which is right next to the little area where they were vending. Then, well, on the other side of that, there was where they were selling the autographs and photographs, and kind of where people like congregated. Down the little hall, there were some more rooms, but I didn't go into them, where they were doing like COVID testing and stuff like that. And then that was pretty much it. So it was like one area of a floor, and it was just very small. Yeah, so that was a con that I did not like. I wish we could have gone in a bigger area, spread it across. It felt very congested. The next con, the vendors area. So there was the main convention vendors. There were two vendors on the side that had Xena specific stuff, like old merch and stuff like that. Then there was, I think, two people selling books, a person selling jewelry, another person selling jewelry, and then I think Hudson was there selling her jewelry. So maybe 8 to 9 vendors for the whole convention, scattered around like the little alcove right before you get into the theater area of the con. That was it. They said they wanted to keep it specific to Xena stuff. That was not true, because the people that were there the majority of the people there were not really Xena specific. So I would love if they would have opened it up, or I don't know, somehow attracted different vendors. For me as a cosplayer, half the fun is walking around the vendors area, running into friends, running into other fans, getting pictures taken. And when the vendors area is this small, you're literally walking around in a circle, like, and you're done. It's not as fun. So I would have loved an expanded vendors area. So that was another con. The next con that I would say was the programming. So we did not have a lot of variety in programming. I love sitting down and hearing the actors talk about their time on the show, about new projects, whatever. But when that is literally the only thing that's pretty much scheduled, it's not as fun. You're spending pretty much the whole convention just sitting, and that was literally scheduled back to back to back to back. I loved when they did yes no trivia. As you can see from the con vlog, I participated in it, got pretty far down the ranks, so that was great. If they could incorporate some more games like that, that would be awesome. Even board games, there's some, I know like some cons have like a game room. They could set up some board games. They could host more like stuff like that. Even non-Xena related, non-Xena related board games, like set up some goddamn Monopoly, something. There's Xena games, literally the Nintendo 64 games, and play the PlayStation games. Get some old, like have somebody bring in an old console and set those up in the room. Like, come on, something more. They also had in the interim when the actors weren't talking, which was very small chunks of time, they would put on old Xena Con videos. Like, that's cool. As a person who never attended a Xena Con, that was super cool to see. But like for like 2-3 hours of time. And then I think it was the same footage that they would put on, like if they showed it on a Friday, they showed the same thing on the Saturday and the Sunday, I think. But like, no. Like, no. And then it was also kind of sad to see, like, oh my God, those were enormous and huge and gorgeous. And like, now it's so, even if it's not so big, it just seems like there was not enough effort put into the convention. That's kind of like another fourth kind of, are we on number 4? I think so. The fourth con, it seemed very first year convention to me. Have you ever been to a first year convention? And that might even be like insulting to like first year conventions, honestly. I've been to some pretty good first year conventions. And this one felt very much low effort. There weren't, it just felt low effort. Like, let's just do it. Let's put it on. People will show up, whatever. The cosplay competition. That was another awesome, like, thing in the programming that kind of broke it up, and like, let's do some more stuff with costuming and cosplayers and stuff like that. I don't know. There were a lot. I expected there to not be as many cosplayers, but there was a lot. I think pretty much from the older stuff that I've seen, this group of cosplayers was probably the most that I've seen from the old footage. So that was awesome, and that was great. Let's do some more stuff, and like, let's do a prop building class. I don't know, like a simple prop building class. Something. Another con was that there didn't seem to be enough staff. Even though it was very small, the staff was even smaller. I didn't experience like long wait times. The small staff was efficient. They were nice. There weren't any big egos like I've experienced at other cons. Like, they were great, but they were small, and it felt like a little unorganized, organized chaos, if that makes sense. So I loved, like, we can move into the pros now. I loved the system of having, like, so the badges and stuff were like numbered. So they would call you by like a group by your number. So like, they would say, okay, group 1 through 50, come on up. And I don't know, the fans tried to organize it by their number as well. So people would go up, okay, what number are you, what number are you? So they would try and get in number order. I like that. I thought that was awesome. But that seemed to cause a little confusion as well. None of the cons that I've ever been to have run like that. So people were like, okay, it's my time slot to go and get my picture taken. So you go, regardless of your number, you just go. but then if there wasn't enough space to accommodate people, so it got really sketchy and weird and annoying, because then they were like, no, yes, it's your time, but it's not your group, so go somewhere else. And then of course people want to stay close to it so they don't miss it. Also, so when they would call you, they would say, okay, wait inside the auditorium, somebody will shout out when it's your time, or they'll put it up on the screen, the next group. That was inconsistent, and you couldn't hear, there was so many people. So I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot. So I loved that organization part. If they could reel it in a little bit, that would be great. I hope that makes sense. Another thing that I loved was that they held the autographs in the auditorium. So while they were doing the numbering kind of system for autographs, you could sit and wait for your time to go. Like that was beautiful. Like they should do that for every convention ever, because I was I had a very high number, so I was able to sit and relax and wait until my group went up. Now it took a long time, but I could sit and relax and talk to other fans, so that was great. So now we talked about, I just realized that I didn't have a lot of pros. I had a lot of cons, didn't have a lot of pros. But the biggest pro for me was just going and being able to engage with this fandom that I've been a part of feels like my whole life, since I was 9 years old, and just be able to talk to people and just fangirl and all the other stuff. So that was the biggest pro for me, that it happened at all, and that I was able to go, since I don't know, the last one was supposed to be the last one, and Ted made a joke that it's been the last one for the last like 5 conventions. So I mean, just being able to go was the biggest pro. I guess another pro was being able to get some of this old merchandise in person, because when you see it online, it is extremely expensive. So this is kind of a pro and a con, because when we got there for registration, which was the Thursday, vendors were already selling things. I don't know if it was supposed to be that way, or they just maybe somebody just went up to them, and since they were already set up, they said, okay, sure, I'll sell it to you. But I was under the impression that, the official selling times were on Friday. So when I saw people going up to the vendors, I didn't pay any attention. I thought they were just scoping out things, that they may have wanted, but they were actually selling things. So the thing that I've wanted for years and years and years was the toy chakram set. Some of them come with Xena's arm cuffs. Some of them come with just the chakrams. Some of them have the swords. So I've been wanting that for years, but online they cost anywhere from up to like $150 and up, right? A seller had the chakram set, and I think they sold it for $50. And when I tell you that I was so upset that wasn't me. Yeah, that's all we're gonna say. So upset. So yeah, that's the pro and the con, that they had started selling like the goods. They started selling stuff, and the good stuff went immediately, and all that was left was like dusty trading cards towards the end, that you were able to find the stuff in person, and for a decent price. Like, I'm pretty sure that those sellers in person could have sold those items for the same amount of money that people were selling them online, and they would have sold, but they were decent, and they were selling them for, not too much more than they were literally worth. Like, I'm pretty sure they weren't more than like $20 in the 90s, right? Apparently another like really pro was the after party stuff. I didn't go to any of the after party stuff, but I just heard rave reviews all weekend from the party. They did karaoke. I don't know if there was another thing that happened, but apparently those were amazing and a lot of people had fun. And I wish I had so much FOMO hearing about this stuff from other people. So that apparently was a pro. Can't say from personal experience. Another thing I guess that could go into a con section was the badge type that I got. So I bought the copper badge, and I think there was copper. Oh yeah, let's talk about the levels. So the levels did not go as I expected. At other cons that I've been to, it's just been like silver, gold, platinum. Those were the levels. And like from other conventions, it kind of followed the same kind of model. At Xena Con, they just had random ass levels. So they had copper, gold, and I forget, but they had those 3 levels. Then they had a VIP, which was better than all the levels, which is like, what? I don't know if you guys can understand what I'm saying. Like VIP is like, they had a couple of different levels that did not compute to my brain, like that it would be better than X, Y, and Z. So I purchased the copper level. The copper level, I didn't really want the perks of the first 2 levels. So I was like, the copper level seemed to be the best value for me. I got, my priority seating. I got to, choose where I wanted to sit. I'll put up whatever if I can find them, whatever the perks are for the copper level that appeal to me. But when it was all said and done, copper continuously got put into general admission. So I was literally, I think, 1 seat away from general admission. So it was general admission, I think Z, and then where I was, which was like Y or something. So I was literally 1 row back from general admission. On the seating plan, it did not look like it was so far back, but I was literally so far back, and I was just so upset that I spent that extra money to have a guaranteed seat and all that. And so when they would call out the badge levels for when you were going to take your picture or to go and get your autograph, they would say, okay, gold 1 through 50, silver 1 through 50, and everyone else. Like, call out my badge color. Like, I paid for that for a reason. So I felt like we got lumped in with general admission the whole weekend. So don't spend your money on the copper unless you can, unless you're like purchasing it like right when they go on sale, so you'll have a better opportunity to be closer. I purchased my ticket, when did I purchase my ticket? Yeah, I didn't purchase my ticket for a while after they went on sale. So I guess that's why I was so far back. But like I said, you just got lumped in with GGA, so it wasn't worth it to me. But when it's all said and done, would I go back? When I was there at the convention, I was like, hell yes, I'm absolutely going back. Can't wait to go back. And because it was just all the feelings we're feeling, it was so overwhelming to be, like I said, surrounded by this fandom that I've loved since I was a kid. With some hindsight, I would have to think about it. It was very, very expensive for me. I don't even want to think about how much money I spent. Yeah, it was very expensive on the other side of the country for me. And it was very small and felt very lackluster. So all that, now that I'm home, now that I'm thinking about it, I would say I'm leaning towards no. Like, I've gotten the experience. I loved the experience, but do I need to experience it again? I don't know. If we get some different celebrities, maybe. Right now, all that's listed is, I think, Lucy Renee and I think Brittany Powell, maybe? She was the MC, and she was awesome too. I had little reservations about, you know, this person who was like in 2 episodes being the MC for the whole con, but she was amazing, awesome. I wish I could have went to see her too, when I got my autographs and photographs. So wrapping this video up, I would love to go back. If I could afford it, sure, why not? If we get some other actors, I would love Carl Urban. I would love to meet Danielle McCormack, Marcus, Barias. Like, I'm blanking on these actors' names right now. Xena's mom. Michael Hurst was gonna come, but he had to cancel. Jennifer Skye. You know, other actors. If we get a variety of different actors, sure. You know, and if I have the extra funds to do it, of course I'll go. But right now, with how the money is adding up, I'm not sure that that's going to happen for me. I'm not sure what all actors that they're going to get, since right now there doesn't seem to be any listed beyond Lucy and Renee. So we'll see. If there's any updates on the con, I'll come back and talk about it. Maybe not a full video. I will be continuing my rewatch and doing some of the list videos that I have been doing in the past, like my 5 favorite episodes, my 5 least favorite episodes, favorite costumes, etc., etc. So maybe I'll throw in some con info right before we get into one of those videos. But yeah, y'all, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. That's my autographed Xena scroll that I try to put up for like decor and it's falling down, so that's fine. It's fine. And of course my neighbor's dog has decided to start barking as well. Noisy neighbors, construction, it's fine. Everything's falling apart.